So what we're going to do, we're going to have a few people come up and say a few words, recollect from memory and things like that, things they've done with them, and funny stories, good stories, clean stories. 50 years is a long time to be married. Heck, I just hope I live to be 50. Some of y'all know that more serious than others. But in all honesty, I'll be real brief. But I just want to thank you guys, for raising me the way you have. I think I've turned out okay. If not, then it's your fault, obviously. Hopefully I didn't. But I do appreciate everything you guys have done for me.
What about we?
No, you get your turn in a minute.
Yeah, you get your turn in a minute. Yeah, this is me. This is me. It's me time. So, anyway, and I just hope again we don't see people married in 50 years now. It's getting less and less frequent, obviously, but just do thank you for everything you guys have done for me and for Dina. Okay, enough of that. Uncle Winston, where you at? There you are. All right. I'm going to call up Uncle Winston. This is my Uncle Winston. I believe this is my mother's brother, who was he was the minister who married them 50 years ago. Some of you may or may not remember that, but Winston, you want to come on up and share a few words with them?
Let's talk about putting people on the spot now. I didn't know anything about this just then. I could have thought a whole lot of stuff between here and dinner this morning. I said to get up and just say a few things. And a retired Methodist preacher, John Wesley, always taught his preachers to be prepared to pray, preach, or die. Well, I'm going to rule the third one out. These are two options. But I'm not going to preach. He said something about saying something funny. I'm trying to remember. The only stories I know that are funny are the ones that told about me. I'm trying to figure out how to reverse them. But I do remember, it was 50 years ago, and I was a real young preacher then, and they were a real young couple. And I can remember that young couple standing there at that altar shaking. But I also remember that young preacher standing at that altar shaking too. I think it probably was about the second wedding I'd ever done. But it must have done a pretty good job, because here we are 50 years later, and it's still stuck. All those got held up and didn't get here today. Had a little interference. But I was determined to get here because there was really a special reason for coming in. After all, it was 50 years. And not many people have a 50th anniversary, and the preacher is there, so I wanted to be unique in that. And the second thing is, there's one thing that was missing from 50 years ago. Me and you never did pay me the fee. At interest for 50 years, I thought I'd at least get a plug in since I had driven down here for that. But again, it's been a long, short 50 years. It doesn't seem like 50 years ago when I got married, and they got married shortly after me. But we're on the other side of that now, and it has been 50 long years, but 50 good years. Now, I can remember growing up with Mary Ann, but it takes a long time to tell things. When they first approached the idea about getting married, and of course I'm green as a gourd as a young preacher, and like I said, I had done maybe 2 very simple weddings, and then to do the wedding for your sister. I'm not sure what all kind of thoughts went through my mind, other than the fact we're going to find somebody to take care of her. And she needs some help, and I think he's done a pretty good job doing that too. But anyway, just glad to be here on this very special occasion, and to know that we've been a part of all this, and that not held for 50 years, and so good to be able to, a lot of the ones I've done, I don't think lasted that long. But congratulations for 50 years and a lot more in the future.
I want to admit, I done forgot who all we talked about was going to come to talk, so, yeah, come on up there. Sandy, thank you. I know we asked 2 or 3 people, but my mind is going blank on me, so if we ask you, just come on up. Seriously. Thank you.
Well, I know that all inquiring minds want to know what happened to their flower girl. Well, here she is. The preacher was there and I was there. And there's no pictures to prove it, so just believe it. But anyway, I can remember vaguely because I was very, very young. I was just a baby, not much older than now. And Uncle Dean, before, thank goodness, he became a highway patrolman, he let us drive the car. So you can imagine how very young we was. So that's what sticks out in my mind, is we got to drive that car. But anyway, so I appreciate that, Uncle Dean. And anyway, just fun times, fun memories of them when they, run the hotels and motels out on the beaches. And I bet y'all didn't know, but Mark Lindsay and the Raiders were over there. And I kind of acted like I owned the hotel, but I didn't. But anyway, so just fun things, but just congratulations. And it is a blessing to have y'all in our life. And we just appreciate y'all sticking it out and being an inspiration to all of us.
Uh-oh, it's right.
We're gonna be serious now. Heart attack.
I got it.
Oh,
When she mentioned the hotel, it reminded me that they started the early part of their married life managing a hotel, and they lived in Paradise. That was the name of the hotel. Okay, you have to, I had it up and it went away, and it's a smartphone, and I'm not smart. There it is.
You got the FSU score on there?
I bet somebody out here can tell you what that is.
28 to nothing. 28 to nothing.
FSU?
Yeah.
Okay. Mary Ann used to take me over to her house, and I wish I could figure out how to work this phone. There. And I used to go over, and I just thought that was the most wonderful thing. What was that? 11, 12? That she allowed me to be a part of that. And she and Lorraine just taught me so many things. And we had so much fun, and they were so amazing. And I remember her mama was always so sweet, just treating me like one of her own. Well, Dean used to go up, and the DJ at the radio station there at Panama City would let him come up and DJ, usually in the evening, usually late. But they'd had a little spat, and I was over at Mary Ann's, and she was so hurt and so upset and just couldn't understand why he just behaved that way and hadn't even called her or anything. And so we turned on the radio, and he was DJing, and he played this song. Now, many of you are going to remember this song, and the name of the song was Patches. And Dean, being of the male persuasion, just saw the name of the song. He forgot what it was about. Y'all remember that song? You will when you hear it. Well, y'all won't hear it, but those others. I hate this phone. Do y'all remember this?
yeah.
I think she died in the home. And what I remember is Mary Ann going, "Why is he playing that song?" So, Dean, I know you tried. And Mary Ann, thanks for understanding and taking it back. And thank you for being such an inspiration and such a rock. Now, shut up. I can't. There. For being such an inspiration for everybody that knows you, for your family. There are times we wanted to knock Dean upside the head, but we knew that you would be between us and Dean. And you have just been the most amazing sister. And Dean, you've been a wonderful brother. And you set the bar really high for the rest of us. And not just the family, but everybody that's ever known you. We love you very much. You know, Ricky Nelson had that beautiful love song right about that time. Look it up.
Hello, I'm Judy Hussey, and I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. My sister Paula and my husband here, and my parents, O'Neill and Arlene, and a lot of you know Susan Bob Kellogg, that's my sister, but Dean came to Tallahassee in 1970 to 74, and he was our youth pastor. And, you know, you don't realize how much he did for you until you got older and you had children. But he and Mary Ann, there was probably 25 or 30 of the youth, and we were so busy at our church, I just don't know how they did it. One thing, our memory of Scotty and Dina were little, but Dina always had the frilly panties across the back. Everywhere she went, they went Dina. That's the memory we always have of her. They were just wonderful to us. We put on many programs. We went to Panama City, where his parents lived, and we went and we rented out there. We went to the Civic Center and did programs over there. Now, the most favorite song that during our time in the 70s, if we went anywhere, Dean had to sing "Hello, Darling." Hello, darling. Everywhere we went, we had to give Dean the microphone, and he had to sing "Hello, Darling" to us. But we had great memories. He kept a lot of kids out of trouble. He was just a blessing to us, and so we drove over today just to give honor to them. I worked with Scott in Tallahassee, so I was glad to find out about this, and we just came to celebrate them, thank them for all the years. There were many young people in Tallahassee who we were called the Crusaders. And one memory that he just reminded me of, we had many memories. Our parents had a lake house that we would go to, and we'd take all the youth down there and we'd go water skiing. Well,